Hi everyone, welcome to the Happy Psychic. I am your host, your guiding light, Gemma. And today I wanted to talk to you about dealing with the uncertainty that you feel when you're faced with a potentially life-limiting or potentially terminal medical diagnosis. The reason really that I wanted to cover this is, I've been there myself. I've been through the process twice now, lucky me. But it's very, very scary. It's very, very difficult, but there are so many things that we can do to really take control of that situation. Yes, we can't dictate what the outcome is going to be. We don't know exactly what the diagnosis is going to be whenever we're first told that, we might have cancer or whatever, whatever it is that you're facing. But we can control and affect how we deal with it, and we can take the negative situation or the traumatic situation and transform it into an opportunity for growth. It does present us with an opportunity to learn about ourselves and to transform ourselves moving forward, however long, we might have left. I think, it's so scary whenever we first find out that we might die. It's very, very frightening. It's incredibly frightening, and it can raise a lot of mixed emotions and emotions that we just weren't aware that we would feel. Death, of course, it is inevitable. It is going to come to us all. It is the one thing that we can't avoid. That is, it is the one certainty really in this life that we will die. But we often think that we have, maybe 40, 50, 60 years left ahead of us, depending obviously on what age, what age you are. But we often think that we have a lot longer, and to be told that actually you might have cancer or whatever, whatever you're experiencing, it can be a shock, and it can really pull the rug from under your feet. I relate specifically to my personal experience. Like back in 2018, I was 34 years old. I had just separated from my husband the previous week, and I was planning a new chapter in my life. I was going through a house move because I was moving out of the family home. We were navigating how to co-parent our 4-year-old, and I was thinking about Tinder, and I had all of these ideas, for my, I was starting a new life. I was excited. I was, sad obviously about what I was leaving behind, but I was excited to move forward. And I had found a lump in my breast whenever I was on holiday with a friend of mine. And I'll be honest, I really didn't think that it was going to be cancer, but I went through the motions and thought, well, I'd best get it checked just in case. And but I hadn't really considered that it would be anything. So whenever I went to the appointment that I almost didn't go to, and they told me that actually from what they've looked at on the scans, they were pretty sure that it was cancer. I was floored. I was so shocked. It was really, really unexpected, really, really unexpected. They had done biopsies on the day, but I think it was 2 weeks. It was going to be 2 weeks for my biopsy results to come back. So it was a 2-week period of knowing that, yeah, it's probably cancer, but not knowing if it had spread, what sort of cancer it was, what my treatment options were, was it terminal? Was I going to die? It's just things that I hadn't really considered. But no matter how dark it might feel, there is a silver lining, and through the turmoil and the shock in a situation like this, we are presented with a learning opportunity. And it's an opportunity for us to really understand ourselves better and decide, what is important to us in life and what life actually means to us. Depending on obviously your beliefs, but I am deeply spiritual, and I have a strong belief in the afterlife, and I'm a clairvoyant medium. And what my beliefs are, what we don't learn and heal in this lifetime has to be relived and healed once we cross over into the afterlife. So a potentially terminal diagnosis, shouldn't stand in your way of turning inwards and making the most of what's left. Nothing is ever lost. But what I've done is I've put this little sort of exercise together that you can go through at your own pace, and hopefully it should really help you find some direction moving forward, because as I say, you can't define, you can't control exactly what your results are going to bring. You can't, essentially none of us have any insight. Well, very few of us have any insight on when exactly our time is going to come to an end, but we can choose to control how we respond to it and use it to our advantage. So the first thing is to feel and acknowledge your emotions. So when we first hear the news of potentially terminal diagnosis, like, it is very, very frightening, and the shock, the emotions that come through, you could be facing things that you didn't even know was possible in terms of your emotions. You could be the most stony person that really has it together, and you could just be reduced to a puddle of, tears. Okay, and so you might cry, you might journal, you might talk it out with a friend, you might talk it out with a therapist, but whatever you do, it is really important to try and understand what it is you're feeling, and it'll probably be helpful for you to assign a label to those emotions. So what I would suggest is grab a paper, piece of paper and a pen, or a Word document, Excel, whatever it is that you want to use, and just write down the emotions as you're experiencing them or as you're recalling them from your experience. So create a column on the left hand side, write down the different emotions that you feel, so that you've got something to really get started on. So the second thing is to understand, why am I feeling this way? So it's one thing understanding, what your emotion is. Like, whenever I think back to my experience, like, I was feeling really regretful over my life. The fact that I didn't really feel like I didn't really feel like I'd made the most of my life. And I had this, like, fear of missing out. Okay, I was essentially feeling like oh my God, this can't be it for me. Like, I haven't done enough. I haven't achieved enough. So whenever I thought, okay, why am I feeling this way? I really did think, I hadn't been experiencing life fully, and I was focusing on the wrong things. I was focusing on the material things. Like, I had just got my dream car, like, it was a 3 Series BMW, and I had just taken delivery of that the day before I found out about my diagnosis. And I can remember sitting in the car and just thinking, like, what good is this car to me? Like, if I'm going to die in 3 months or 3 years, what good is this car to me? It's irrelevant, and it really put things in perspective. So yes, it's great to be able to identify, why you actually, why are you feeling that way? Why are you feeling the regret, the fear, whatever, the anger? Just understand what it is that has actually triggered that emotion. So alongside the emotions that you've already noted down the left hand side of your page or your Excel document, start to write down in the next column to the right, why are you feeling that way? Reflect back, think back, why are you feeling the way that you are? Okay. The next thing is, what would you change? Now, we often have regrets in life and things that we would do differently once we've had a chance to reflect on them. And, it might be like making amends, things like that, whatever it is, there's things that we can definitely do to impact our lives moving forward. Okay, so it is just having a bit of a think of, what would I change? What would I do differently? So again, I would add another column in and go through, and now that you've had those realizations of those emotions and you've understanding why you're feeling this way, write down, okay, well, what would I do differently? What would I change moving forward? Because this is a great opportunity for transformation for you. So write down just what you would do differently moving forward. Like, for me personally, like, I wouldn't have been focusing so much on the material possessions that had no meaning, and I would have been pursuing something that did add more meaning to my life and that was going to fulfill me at a soul level rather than an ego level. And things like making a difference to the people around me, spending time with my daughter, and actually living life. And having experiences in life, those were the things really that I would have changed. So finally, we'll come to the last point, which is point number 4, an opportunity for transformation. So we often experience more personal growth whenever we go through challenges in life. If things are rosy and tickety-boo, we don't tend to learn as much as we do whenever we're faced with a traumatic experience. Okay, and that is just the fact. That is whenever things are shaken up and we have to, go through a lot more emotions than we would usually experience, and we have to, really figure things out a lot more. So that is really where the learning opportunities are presented to us in life. And that's not to say that we don't learn all the time. Of course we do, but it's through the challenges. And you'll notice this whenever you reflect back in your life, the challenges that you have experienced, that is where the majority of your growth will have stemmed from, okay? And it is bittersweet, and it might feel bittersweet because of what you're going through, but you do have a massive opportunity now to transform your life. And not just your life, you have the opportunity to transform the lives of those around you. You're helping them learn lessons that they need to learn in order to move forward and transform themselves. You are learning important lessons that are helping you transform yourself. So, tough times don't define you, they refine you. And I think that is an excellent little quote to remember. Regardless of the outcome of your diagnosis, you are being gifted the chance to make what remains of your life more meaningful. And I hope that you have a long life ahead of you. But if it's going to be a short time, at least you are aware and you can impact now how you live your life moving forward, and you can make the changes that can actually enable you to live a life of purpose and to do the things that you almost, maybe have lost out on. And whenever you reflect back, so the exercise really is, when you reflect back on the realizations that you've had, what would you change? What would you do differently now moving forward? If time was not an issue, what would you do differently in your life? How would you live your life moving forward? Because it could be a book that you wanted to write. Now might be the time to write that. It might be a family holiday that you've wanted to take. My initial diagnosis back in 2018 led me to a change of career, and I used my corporate coaching experience to then become a life coach, because I really wanted to help other people transform their lives the way that I had transformed my own. So there will be things in there that you will be able to do, and yes, you may not be able to work through the whole of your list, but you can definitely work through some of it, and you can start to make changes today. There is no reason why you can't make changes immediately. No matter how little they are, the changes that you make can have a massive impact on you and the people around you. Life is there for us to experience. We're here to learn, to enjoy, to have fun, and to love, and to help each other. And I just say that you should never underestimate the legacy that your changes will leave behind, and how your actions can inspire those that are closest to you to actually make the change in their lives, so that they can transform too and live a life of purpose and a fulfilling life and a life of joy moving forward. So I really hope that you find that helpful. And yeah, if you've got any questions, you can come to me on the website, which is guidinglight.guru. I'm on Facebook, which is guidinglight_guru, or on Instagram, which is guidinglightguru. Might have got those back to front, apologies. But Guiding Light Guru, you'll find us, and then feel free to drop us a message. Bye.